guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kinyere if you're seeing me for the first time. I know I wanted this video to be a bit different, and I kind of had an idea how I wanted to sit, because if you've been watching my channel, you know that this is not where I sit. But I already sat in my regular spot and I was like, something was just like, I wasn't feeling comfortable. I wasn't feeling like I was in the right place to actually talk about what I really want to talk about. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna move to the floor, okay, because I feel it is a better position. I don't know why. So from the title of this video, I actually don't even know what title I'm going to give this video, but I know that I might just go all over the place because I don't have one thing in particular to talk about. So I'm just going to try and like wrap everything up into one title. I don't know what the title is going to be yet. So today we're just going to be talking about sex, intimacy in marriage, intimacy after children, and basically a woman's general well-being, you know, in marriage and then after having children. I've been married for 8 years, but almost 8 years will be. So this year will be 8 years since we've been married, and we've known each other for how long? For about 11 years, I think. 11 or 12 years. About 12 years, yeah, about 12 years. I would say that, you know, when you're dating, yeah, it's a different ball game. It's a completely different ball game. The thing about marriage is that when you're married, and you guys, you know, start the whole marriage thing, a lot of things come into play. There are responsibilities involved. You now realize that, okay, we have to pay the bills, we have to buy food in the house, we have to constantly work together as a team to make sure that the home runs smoothly. And all of these things, none of this is child's play. It's something that takes planning, it's something that takes communication, it's something that just takes teamwork. And all of this is efforts that you're going to be putting into the marriage. It's different from when you're dating. When you're dating, you're single individuals, you know, doing your own thing, and you know, just trying to figure out what it is about your partner, just trying to figure out what your partner is about. That's really what dating is about. But I think this takes a toll on a lot of couples. When you get married, things just hit you. Like, it's not like it doesn't happen on purpose, but this is just hits you like wham. And a lot of times you just keep on living life. It feels like it's normal. You find marriages where intimacy just drops all the way down. You find marriages where sex becomes a routine, sex becomes a chore. It will just become so normal. It will become something that your body starts getting used to. It will become something that your body adjusts to. Let's just put it that way. Your body kind of adjusts to it. And you see, the damages that happen in marriages, they don't just start. It's an overtime thing. So when you find marriages where you hear, oh, the love is not there anymore, the love has faded, I don't know about all that grammar that they usually speak. What I know is that there are times that some things may look like they are fading, but not completely out of the picture, but just fading, and they just need something to you know, get the fire burning again. So I feel like sometimes that's how marriage is. It looks like things are deteriorating, it looks like things are not like they were, but in the real sense of it, you guys just need a little spark. You just need something to just, like, you know, help things pick up. In marriage, at some point, it looks like these things just happen. It's a gradual process. They keep on happening, you know, your bodies just keep on adjusting to it, and then the day you're ready to sit down, you now realize that, come on, I don't enjoy sex that much any longer. I don't get to be intimate with my husband as we were before we got married. What's happening? Don't we love each other as much as we did? Is something changing? Is he cheating on me? If you're married, you need to communicate. Communication cannot be taken out of the equation. If you're married, you need to talk. If there's something that you're experiencing that you don't like, speak up about it. I was at a salon where I went to get my nails done, and you guys know how salons can be. A lot of cheese, popping hot cheese, steaming hot cheese. So we're talking about how women should look good, which I'm going to come to, you know, in the video. So we're talking about how women should learn to look good, how women should keep themselves looking on fleek and all of that. And I was talking with a woman that was getting her feet done, and then another woman who is older, who she later told us that her first child is 24, so she also came to get her nails done. And we were just really talking about how women need to take care of themselves. And the woman by my side was saying she always comes to get her feet and her nails done. She likes her nails to be done, she likes to look really, really good. And she was talking about how her husband can be very picky, and then she was telling me that her husband looks very young, so she's not ready to look like her husband's mother. And then the hairdresser, the lady that was doing her nails, was confirming it, that her husband is one very young man, and their first child is about 15 or 16, so her husband looks really, really young. And you know, the thing about us women is that, okay, let me not digress. So she said she has a neighbor who is actually very independent, like she has a good business going for her. And then this one was always asking her why she's going to do her feet, why she's going to do her nails, why she changes her hair very often. And the one was now telling her that she's wasting money, that now wow, that the kind of money that she's wasting now, wow, that. So she was not like, she had asked the woman before why she looked the way she looked and why she didn't like to like get her nails done or do her hair. And the woman was telling her that she used to do that, but then she noticed that her husband never took note of it. She noticed that her husband never complimented her, and then she stopped. So when she told me, I was like, are you serious? And there are women like this. You feel like your man has to validate the way you look for you to actually look that way. See, let me tell you something. If you do not realize your worth, your value, there is no way you would be able to even like scratch that. The most important thing that you can do for yourself as a woman is to be happy, and is to take care of yourself for you, not for any man. Who you come first before that man's opinions, by the way. So if you're trying to look good because your husband likes you to wear trousers, or because your husband likes to look clean, or because you want to keep your husband, because you feel like if you look good you're able to keep the man, that is the wrongest notion ever. Because there are women who look amazing, whose husbands have stepped out of their marriages. So looking good, it will not keep a man. The way you look is not enough to keep a man. Secondly, communication is important in a marriage from both parties. We already know there are a lot of celebrities that we've heard of who, some of them have left their marriages, some of them are still in those marriages, and it's nobody's business. It's how they choose to live their lives. But you see a lot of them are paying women the best bodies, money, what else, and then their husbands stepped out on them. So please don't blame a man stepping out on his wife because of the way his wife looks. Like, if you cannot communicate with your wife, if you're one of those men who expects a woman to do all the work in the relationship, to communicate with you, to be patient, to be humble, to be respectful, to be this, to be that, and you just sit down there doing nothing, how is that marriage supposed to work? How is one person supposed to give 100% of herself and you give nothing, or you give something that can't even balance up? My husband used to be like that. Like, things will happen, he won't say anything, he'll just keep quiet because in his words he wants peace to reign. I'm like, no, if something happens and you're not comfortable with, please call me out on it, voice out. I want to know, and I want us to be able to sit down and talk about it and trash it out and talk about how we can get things to be better. I got married at 21, and when I got married, I remember even before I got married, a lot of people always felt I was older than I told them I was. A lot of people, till now, people are telling me I'm lying about my age. I've always been that person that would voice out. I don't like confrontation, but when it comes to things that would affect me and I would keep on thinking about and then weigh heavy on me, I always like to speak up about it. So even when I got married, I would speak about some things, but then some things I would be reserved about, things like sex, just intimacy, things like that. I'll be like, I don't want to talk too much, let it not. But you guys, when you start getting older and you realize that life is short, and you realize that a lot comes from you opening your mouth and talking and speaking and saying what you want, and you realize that you deserve those things, you start to open your mouth and speak up about it. So that's why I mentioned in one of my videos, said my husband knows I will talk about any damn thing. When I was discussing with those women, they were like, one of them was telling me that she went to church and they had like a church gathering and they were talking about sex. So they threw a question at them, and they asked them, they said, would you tell your husband if you want to have sex, like you want to have sex, your husband is not in the mood for sex, or he hasn't mentioned anything to you anyway, he didn't make the first move, would you make the first move? And all the women were like, no, that why would they make the first move? That no, they. And another woman got up and was like, what do they mean by they will not say they want to have sex? Like, when a man wants to have sex, he comes to you. What makes you feel like, why do you feel like you can't do the same? Why do you feel like you cannot tell your husband and say, hey guy, alpha? So the woman was so mad, and the woman was talking to them and telling them that, do you guys think that men are the only ones that deserve to be happy? Do you think that you're in a marriage to suffer? Do you think that, I don't know, were women created to suffer? Were they created to die in silence? And not women were like, they can't do it though. That one of them in particular was like, if she does that, her husband will say she's loose. I don't know how to describe it, but you guys understand what I'm trying to say. There are men that would think that because their wives want to have sex, it doesn't matter how many times in a day, how many times in a week, when it becomes way more than they expect, they start to think something is wrong, or she's addicted to sex, or she'll probably cheat on me with another man, or you know, she's just something, she's a whore. Because this things happen. This is what someone actually said, that's how her husband would feel. So it means that when they are married, if they're having sex, she probably tries to hold herself back. It's like, no, I don't want to be myself. I don't want to say it how I'm feeling it. I don't want him to feel like it is so much of a big deal for me. Yes, it happens. If you don't know, it happens. So when I'm like, I'm sorry, we're in this together. If something that you don't like, you can call your husband and talk to him and tell him, okay, this is what happened. And I feel like there are different ways to approach, you know, men. And every woman should have studied her husband. Every woman knows the best way to approach their husband when it comes to things like that. You know his moods. You probably know when you feel he will not get offended, which I feel like it's not something that should even offend anybody. If things don't turn out the way they were supposed to, you should be able to call your husband and say, oh, this is what happened, you know. It could be the next time you guys want to, you know, get down, that you can mention stuff like that. It might not be after the whole thing. It could be when you guys are intimate, or when you guys are together, or when you guys are just in, like, maybe talking, just a very calm environment where he would listen to you. You can, you know, throw that in. But for women to now feel like they have to suck it up, they have to make themselves invisible just so that they can be accepted by the men, it just really beats me. About sex after having children, I would say that for me, I would say sex changed a lot. If you watched my interview on Ebony Live, I can't remember a lot of the things I said, and then I think I've mentioned it once in a while. Sex definitely changed in the sense that it wasn't happening as good as I wanted it to. Schedules are different. He would go out in the morning, I'm home in the morning, I'm working, I'm, you know, taking care of the home, you know, taking care of the children. They go to school, they come back, I have to bath them, I have to wash their lunch bags. I have a help, yes, but usually my help will go to school, and then I'm left with the things I have to do. And in a long, like, over the last 8 years since we've been married, I've not been in a position where I'm home and there's no child in the house with me. Because even when I had Grace, it took me about 4 years before I had Ella. But within the 4-year period, I got pregnant when Grace was about 2 years, which I've mentioned before, and then it was an ectopic pregnancy. So during that period, I was a youth copper for about a year, and then I had the ectopic pregnancy, and then I got surgery, and then I had to, you know, count recovery time, and then I had just a few. And Grace even started school Grace was with me during that period. She didn't start school very early. Grace didn't start school early, I guess, because she's my first child, so I was a bit skeptical about when I wanted her to start school. So she was home with me for a while. I think Grace started school at like 3+. So after Grace started school, it wasn't long after that I got pregnant for Ella, and then, you know, when I was still taking care of Ella was like 6 months when I got pregnant for Victoria. So I've always had a child in the house with me, and taking care of children is not easy at all, especially when you're doing it and trying to be your best at it. It's not easy at all. So I've always had a child in the house with me, so I would be home taking care of the baby, watching them run around, packing toys, washing their bum, doing this, doing that. And the older one comes back from school, you continue, you cook, you clean, you take care of yourself, because you're also somebody. You take care of yourself, and then your husband comes back at night, and that period where you just want to sleep and rest, that's when somebody's body is doing one kind. At some point you're trying to satisfy somebody and you're not taking yourself into consideration. It kind of now becomes like a routine. I'll be very honest with you, there were years in our marriage where sex was like just a plain routine. It was like, let's just do it and get it over with. Like, should you want us to do, okay, let's be done and let everybody go to bed and sleep. But when you really settle down and realize that, come on, human being now, if you feel like planning works better for you guys, it's not bad to plan, because I mean, you're adults. It's not a case of, oh, I met this guy and then we're together in the room and then sparks start flying and then he touches my arm and then we kiss and then that's how, no, you guys are adults. You're way older than all that. So if it's something that you have to plan, let it be something that you plan. So my husband might call me and be like, okay, what's up with tonight? And I'm like, I'm tired, I did this during the day, I did this, I was really tired, so it will not be possible, but come back, let's just see. And then there might be nights when it's like, okay, he would send me a message, or he might not be direct with his message, he will just be like, alpha now, my love. It could not be a really nice romantic message, and I'm kind of feeling the vibe, when I get messages like that, and then I kind of reply. So like that, we don't talk too much. He'll buy me shawarma when he gets back, and then he'll be all lovey-dovey, and I'm like, I know the language you're trying to speak, I understand it. Things like that, it kind of brings the spark in. It doesn't make it seem boring anymore. Another thing is going out, which is why a lot of couples have date nights. We are trying to do date nights. We're trying. I feel like when you realize that you have a problem, first of all realize that there's a problem and then try to work and fix it. So it's something that you need to be intentional about. We know that, okay, if we continue this we're taking care of children, paying the bills, and I'm there trying to clean the house, I'm there trying to work and make some money on the side, and I'm trying to do this. While you're doing all of that, your relationship is going to be going downhill. So when you understand, first of all, in your head, that these things you're doing, yes, you're hitting goals, you're smashing goals, but then your relationship is suffering, your marriage is suffering, it makes it easier. Because now we're like, okay, we need some time, we need to go out some nights, just the two of us, because sometimes I go out with him and his friends, and then sometimes he's like, no, we're not going with my friends tonight, where it's just going to be me and you. And I noticed that when we go out like that, we are able to connect on a heart-to-heart. There's no child there, it's just the two of us, one-on-one, and we're able to really talk. We're able to a lot of things. We talk about a lot of things. There's room to talk about a lot of things. So when you get home, things, you're calmer, and a lot of times nights like that, something would always happen. A lot of nights like that, something would always happen. So there are so many ways. I just know that you need to be intentional. First of all, you need to be intentional about intimacy in your marriage for things to actually work smoothly. Life can get very hectic, especially when you start having children. Life can just, like, the years will just flash before your eyes, and before you know it, you would forget what being in love with that person really was about, or really is about. That's just the honest truth. So when it comes to the aspect of women looking good in a marriage, not in a marriage, so when I went to do my nails here, we came up, there was this woman that was doing her nails as well. They were painting her toenails. So during our discussion, like back and forth, you could see that there's some things that she just had this very straight face. She was like, so we didn't say anything, but then there was something we talked about. We talked about women having time to take care of themselves, doing their hair, doing their nails. And then she was like, how about people like her that don't have help? She doesn't have a maid. You guys, if you had seen this woman, like her nails were popping. She came to do like a nice fuchsia pink. It was so fine. But then her hair, she had cornrows that you couldn't even see the tracks of the cornrows again. And then while we were looking at her hair, the older woman, you know, we're discussing, was like, okay madam, look at your hair, look at your earring, you're wearing just one ear of earring, where's the other ear? She's like, oh, I don't know where it is. That she doesn't have time, she doesn't have a help, which I completely understand. Nothing good in life comes easy. You need to make out time. Like, make out time. There are even easier ways to make yourself look good. You don't like, you don't have to look like a train run over you. It takes work, it takes effort, you know. And first of all, do it for yourself before you even, when people say things like this, some people always feel like you're saying you should look good for your husband. That one is secondary. Looking good for your husband is secondary. Looking good for yourself, to be able to stand in front of the mirror and girl, and flip your weave, flip your natural hair, flip your bald head, whatever, and say I look good, that should be your number one priority before you now start to include what Mr. Husband likes and what he doesn't like, and like take away what he doesn't like. That should be your number one thing. When you start to look good for yourself, that is when you know that you have arrived. I just feel like a lot of women don't want to put in the work, but you have the time to make your husband a meal, you have the time to feed the children, you have the time to cook for the children, you have time to clean the house. So why do you now have to throw yourself on the back burner? Why do you have to throw yourself behind and feel that, okay, if anything should suffer, let it be me? Because that's what women do. If anything should suffer in this house, let it be me. Let it be that my kids look good, my husband looks good, my husband is well fed, his stomach is full. So if anything wants to look like nonsense, let it be me, let it be me, let it just be me. No, please don't do it. I told my husband, if anybody has to suffer, it's not going to be me. It can't be me, because if I suffer, if I'm not happy, all of you now go suffer together. So you see me, as I want to go and do my nails, as I want to go out, just get let us just gradually find a way to package these children, carry them to their grandma's house. Or because if I'm not happy, all of you will hear it in this house. Your bonbons will all be on fire. We are going to church in the morning, our hair will be like mad people's hair. We've laid our children's hair. Husband has brushed his hair. The husband is looking good, popping. You know how men are now. Some men, you see, they are them stepping out in their sneakers, their jeans, their this, and then the woman is wearing one gown that reach ground and cover her hair with scarf because her hair is so rough. So you see all these spa days, all these body massages, we need them. Now we need them pass. I remember when I was younger, before I got married, people would say you shouldn't marry a man that is a few years older than you because you would age before him. No, that wasn't the reason why I married someone that's, my husband is way older than me. My husband is over 6-7 years older than me. It's because of the amount of work women put into managing their homes, taking care of the children, and not taking care of yourself. Let's make it different. Let us come out, and people will be asking the man, is this your girlfriend? Because you know that's the thing in Nigeria. It's like if your wife is looking very young and sexy, they won't ask you if she's your wife, they'll ask you if she's your girlfriend, because in their own minds they feel like a wife shouldn't look as good as that, but when you're a girlfriend you should look that good. So because the thing about men, when it's time to go out, a lot of them won't even help you dress the children up. You will do everything, but you see, when I'm done with everything, you guys are going to wait. Okay, you would wait, I would rest, I will fan myself, I will take breeze fan or AC, and then I'll start doing my makeup and start wearing my hair and start doing all of that, because I cannot come out looking like your house girl, you and your children looking good and me looking like what? No, it's not going to happen. Women who look good for their husbands, not for themselves. What happens when the man walks out of the marriage? What happens when the man says tomorrow, oh, I don't want to be married again? Because that's the shit that we hear nowadays. A man will just tell you, oh, I don't want to do this again, I don't want to stay married to you. What's your reason? I just don't want to be married again, I just want to be on my own. What happens then is you're looking good for the man. But let me tell you something about men who leave women who know their worth, women who like to look good, women who they know take pride in themselves, women who they know their self-worth and know their value, that they will still be threatened because they know that if they walk out, somebody else can walk in. It's just the truth. If they walk out, somebody else is going to see that beauty and is gonna jump in, by the way. But when you're looking like crap and the man says he wants to leave, if he leaves, it's worse now. If he leaves, it's going to be worse for you, because it's like, okay, there's no man, and then I have the children, I have bills to pay, I have this to do, I have this to do, plus just the emotional damage you, or you're dressing up for the man and then the man leaves. There's no reason for you to get dressed. So it's like you won't even dress up to even invite the next man that probably wants to come into your life. So you guys, there are so many reasons why we need to look good. Okay, it's one life. Being a mother did not make you different from what you were when you were single. Your name was your name. My name was Chinyere before I got married, and my name is still Chinyere. If you love short skirts when you were single, why can't you wear short skirts when you're married? I'm not understanding. Why can't you wear short skirts when you're married? What make you so what? Your children would see you as a bad example. You know, I mean, I'm not talking about being indecent here now, but I'm just talking about how some women's styles, the women feel like their style should change because they were single, and then now that they are married and they have children, things should be different. I just hope I've been able to just touch every area, all the things I just wanted to pour out, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and please share the video. This is one of the, I want all you to share my vlogs, because I feel like my vlogs are for entertainment purposes, but this is going to help somebody. So please share it on your social media accounts, share it on your Insta story, and follow me on Instagram at YummyMomLife. I will see you guys in my next video.